Hello again, fellow moviegoers. Jeffrey Michael here, and welcome to a special, mysterious edition of Jeffrey Michael's Movie Reviews Extravaganza. In this video, I will review the movies that were released on November the 10th, 2017. Alrighty then. The first movie that I will review is Murder on the Orient Express, rated PG-13. It stars Kenneth Branagh, Johnny Depp, Michelle Pfeiffer, Judi Dench, Daisy Ridley, Josh Gad, Penelope Cruz, Leslie Odom Jr., and Willem Dafoe. And it was also directed by Kenneth Branagh as well. He brought you such films as Much Ado About Nothing, Hamlet, the first Thor, and Disney's live-action Cinderella. Now, Murder on the Orient Express is, of course, based on the classic novel by Agatha Christie, one of the best mystery writers of all time. This is actually the fourth adaptation of her novel, after the 1974 version and two TV adaptations, in between. Now, just like the novel, the movie is set in 1934, and the main character is Belgian detective, or rather self-proclaimed best detective in the world, Hercule Poirot. Hercule Poirot? Best detective in the world. I can't even say his name properly. Hercule Poirot. There we go. He's played by Kenneth Branagh with a walrus mustache so over the top and distracting it deserves its own screen credit. So the movie opens up. Poirot has just solved another case in Jerusalem, and he's just got a call from London. He has to get back for another case. And so a good friend of his, who's director of the Orient Express, offers him a room on the next outgoing train. So when he gets there, there's not too many passengers on the train, and he's almost immediately approached by a businessman/gangster named Ratchet, played coolly by Johnny Depp. Apparently he's been getting some threatening letters from an unknown person, and he asks Poirot, "Would you be my bodyguard? I'll pay you handsomely." But Poirot sees how passive-aggressive and sinister he comes across, and so he flatly refuses. So that same night, everyone's asleep in their compartments, and Poirot hears a lot of noises and voices and footsteps outside his door, but ignores them. And at the same time, an avalanche has occurred on the train tracks ahead of the train, so the train is forced to stop in the middle of the night. And the next morning, there's a scream from the compartment next to Poirot's, and someone's been murdered. Ooh. It's Ratchet. The doctor examines him and sees he's been stabbed 12 times. And so Poirot gathers everybody in the dining room, to all 12 passengers, as declared, "Ladies and gentlemen, a passenger has died on this train, and one of you is the murderer." Ooh, wow. So he declares that the workers are working fast to get all that snow off the tracks so the train can go on. And it'll be completed within about 48 hours. So he only has that amount of time, to figure out who it is before the train goes, before they can get away. Now, that in the movie terms, ladies and gentlemen, that's what they call a ticking clock. Now, you might probably asking now, who done it? Was it the maid? Was it the widow? The princess? The butler? The doctor? Spoiler, the butler did it. No, I'm just kidding. Or am I? No. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys because that wouldn't be fair. Now, let me start out by saying that this film overall, I thought, if I could describe it in one word, I think I would pick lush. I mean, oh my gosh, the hair and makeup, the costumes, the set dressing, the set decoration, the cinematography. I mean, they did a good job of making it not only feel like it's like in 1934, but also it really feels very old-fashioned feel, like you're actually inside an Agatha Christie novel. I thought that was really cool how they did that. And the acting, of course, I mean, when you have an A-list cast, I mean, everybody gives it their all, and especially like Kenneth Branagh does a pretty good, Belgian accent. And Michelle Pfeiffer, she at one point, you really feel for her at one. And now the pacing's a little sluggish, I thought. It could have been a little quicker. And there are some parts that are like, that was a little ridiculous, and the final resolution for some of you might think that's a little preposterous. I don't know if that could actually happen, but it was a good movie overall, I thought. I mean, at the end they hint that there'll be a sequel coming up with another case with Poirot, and I actually would be thrilled to see another one, actually. Overall, I would give this movie a B. Yeah, a nice solid B. I mean, there's a couple, setbacks. It's a little too faithful to the novel, and not much has changed from the '74 version. But overall, I had a good time watching this, and it's suspenseful, and you're wondering out who did it. You constantly guessing until the end, and so I would recommend this one. Go and see it. You'll enjoy yourself. So the last film that I will review in this video, yeah, there's only two this time, is Daddy's Home 2, rated PG-13. It is the sequel to 2015's Daddy's Home. It stars Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, Linda Cardellini, Mel Gibson, and John Lithgow. It is directed by Sean Anders, who brought you such films as Sex Drive, Horrible Bosses 2, and the first Daddy's Home. Now, Daddy's Home was about two dads. Brad, played by Will Ferrell, was the stepdad, and Dusty, played by Mark Wahlberg, was the bio dad. They butt heads, they hated each other, they each want to be the better dad. Laughs ensued, lessons were learned, and they learned how to be good co-parents at the end. Until the sequel came out. So the sequel takes place during the holidays. They're all now one happy, blended family. And the kids ask, hey, we haven't seen Grandpa in a while. And so they decide to invite both their dads home for the holidays. There's Dusty's aggressive dad who he hates, Kurt, played by Mel Gibson. And there's Brad's loving father, Don, played by John Lithgow. And they're so excited to see each other that Brad and Don, they greet each other with a nice big wet open mouth kiss. Yes, you heard me. Now, if this plot sounds awfully familiar to you all, that's because in my last video, I did the review of A Bad Mom's Christmas, and the plot to that movie was Grandma's come home for the holidays. And so in this film, Grandpa's come home for the holidays. I mean, it's like, okay, Hollywood, is that really all you got? And I'd like to tell you that despite its not original plot, that, there's enough laughs, to be had, and execution is great. But I'd be lying. I mean, there's twice as many laughs this time around, but very few of them actually land. And too many jokes are just repeats from the first film. Like in the first film, Brad at one point, gets electrocuted and almost dies. Well, in this film, at one point he gets electrocuted and almost dies. One of the kids said, did Daddy die again? No, sweetie, but this movie did. So yeah, if you're looking for like a nice, turn your brain off comedy, this one isn't it. It just isn't worth your time. I mean, it's kind of shame because the chemistry between the cast, especially between Will Ferrell and John Lithgow as son and dad, I mean, they did such a great job. It's like, wish they had a better movie or script to work with here. I would give this one a C-, and I would go lower, but the chemistry between the cast is so good that I elevate a little bit, but just a little, because I do not recommend this one to you guys. I mean, if you're looking for a turn your brain off comedy, if you had to choose between Bad Mom's Christmas or Daddy's Home 2, Bad Mom's Christmas, definitely. Don't waste your time with this one, you're welcome. Deja vu, the recap. Murder on the Orient Express. B. A lush, well-made mystery film with a stellar A-list cast based on the novel by the great Agatha Christie. C'est magnifique. Definitely see this one. And finally, Daddy's Home 2. C-, a laugh-free comedy sequel with a game cast that deserves so much better. Don't waste your time with this one. And that'll do it for another mysterious edition of Jeffrey Michael's Movie Reviews Extravaganza. Until next time, happy movie watching, everybody. Au revoir.